What's good? What's good? What's good, people? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of Rappin' Dough. I'm your host, Don Bucks, and I'm psyched up today. I'm psyched up. Um, why? Cause I ain't see y'all all week. I ain't see my peoples all week. I haven't hopped in. Been doing a few things, leveling up, learning, so I can come back and give y'all the game. But it's been a lot going on. I just want to welcome y'all to a new series I'm putting out called Financial Bars. I mean, since today's Sunday, we can call it Financial Bar Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a lot going on in the markets. Y'all know this is the home of business and finance conversations from a young black perspective. And as of right now, I'm live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube. If y'all want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow Rappin' Dough, Rappin_Dough on Instagram. You can also tap into the YouTube page, Rappin' Dough. So I like to come weekly with some fire, some insight, some game on uh, one of the I say major sectors of money that a lot of us in the black community don't take advantage of, and that is the stock market. Y'all been following me. Y'all know I've been investing for 10 plus years. I'm pretty much retired, but I keep all my streams of income open. So I work when I want to work. I used to be a barber for 20 plus years in the family business. So I still cut hair from time to time because, I mean, it's in my blood. You know what I mean? Got it from my dad, what you expect. So um, I just want to give people a little bit of time to tap in while I check on y'all. But what's been going on? Being that I'm live, what's going on with y'all? Hope everybody staying safe because for the past week, we've been having a lot going on as far as protests and companies. A lot of different companies are showing their support for the black community. Um, I just find that to be interesting. I find that to be interesting. The stock market, before the pandemic, well, actually, right around the time when the pandemic started and all the lockdowns went into effect, the stock market dropped 30%. But since then, within the past 3 months, we're back. We done got it. We done got the 30% back, and we're up another 10%. But this past week, um, we had a slight drawback, a slight pullback, market correction. Um, Came down about 6%. But yeah, so that's one thing about the stock market that I've grew to learn, that the stock market is like, it's mad emotional. And if y'all been paying attention on one of my previous episodes, I was saying how the stock market um, it moves based on sentiment. Sentiment is basically how people feel, basically emotions. So it's either optimistic look or a pessimistic look. People are thinking positive or people are thinking negative at any given time. So basically, when people are optimistic, stock prices go up. When people are pessimistic or negative, stock prices go down. Um, and we've been having a lot of that. A lot of emotions been flying from all the cop killings and the protesting and whatnot. So that's why the stock market has been so volatile over the past few months, because we had a lot of positive, we had a lot of negative sentiments running wild, and we still gonna have it. It's gonna be a lot of optimism and pessimism for the foreseeable future. But I got a few things. I can't possibly get to everything because I actually have an engagement to go to soon. But I wanted to tap in with y'all because I ain't tapped in this week. So I'm tapping in now. And this is, like I said, the new series I'm introducing called Financial Bars. Shoot, I don't know. I might do it on Friday, or I might just keep it on Sunday, depending on how y'all feel. So this Financial Bars Sunday, um, and of course, like I said, feel free to tap in on Instagram and YouTube. But I will be uploading these videos. But first thing I wanted to touch on is that the stock market is one of the easiest ways. I keep saying this over and over. One of the easiest ways to start building wealth. And it's funny because I'll be watching, CNBC and all these financial channels and news channels, right? And it's wild how they be throwing around billions and trillions of dollars in their conversation. Like, yeah, this company's worth this 1.5 trillion. This company's worth 300 billion. And they throw around billions and trillions. The terminology like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So this is an example of how uh, far behind we are with understanding how this is where wealth is being created. Like I was just having this conversation with one of my peoples. He just stopped by, checked me out, and he just told me that he just started investing in the stock market. And I'm proud of my boy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, that's dope. Keep at it. Keep me posted because, um, since I started this platform about a year ago, like it's kind of been like pulling teeth introducing this to my to other black people because like this stuff was not taught in our schools, and this information is I guess it eludes us because of that. I mean, we haven't been taught it in school, so we don't know nothing about it. It sounds like Spanish when we talking about it, right? So I'm just proud of my boy for getting invested in the stock market. But um, yeah, so how they throw around billions and trillions is just it just gives me hope. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like I'm glad I got this information because now I can pass it on to my people. But building wealth, what you have to keep in mind is not just for you. You know what I mean? And once you get an understanding of how wealth is being built in the stock market, you're gonna hop in with both feet. But building wealth is not for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember having conversations with somebody about how we was looking at the Rob report, we was looking at super big houses and whatnot, and the person was like, "Oh man, I don't need no house like that. I don't need no house that big." But I'll be thinking, I think on a whole nother plane. I'm thinking like, see, that big house is not just for you though. Like, what if you want to have guests by? You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of copping one dirt bike, how about you be able to cop three or four so you don't have to ride by yourself? You can ride with your friends. Like, so when I think about wealth, I always think back to that example. How this dude was like, yeah, I don't need no house this big. Um, but you thinking about only you. So building wealth is not for you. It's for your future generations. It's for your children. So they don't have to start from ground zero like you did or like I did. Um, so yeah, keep that in mind. Building wealth is not just for you. But getting into what's been happening over the past week, um, like the previous episode when I was saying how the stock market done after it dropped 30%, it's up 40%. So basically, it done surpassed where it was before the drop. Um, but it's funny how, um, um, like I said, the markets they move by optimism, pessimism, negative versus positive thinking. And as of right now, that pullback that I was talking about, where it dropped 6% this past week, it did that because um, of if y'all haven't been hearing, they were saying there's another wave of coronavirus um, being talked about in these different states. It's a whole nother wave of increased cases and hospitalizations and whatnot. So what is that? That's pessimism. That's negative. That's negative news. So what does that do? Like I said, when there's negative news, stock prices go down because people are selling because they're scared. Like companies, um, their investors are scared about their money, so they start selling, taking their profits. So when people sell, when there's an abundance of people selling, stock prices come down. And people are selling, trying to protect their money because they finding out there's another wave of coronavirus in these states, and they're considering re-shutting down. So what does that do to businesses? Businesses have to shut down. That means you're not making no money. So investors are selling so they can take profits before so they can reinvest into something else. So that's why we had that market correction this week, because of the talks of the second wave of coronavirus that's been presenting itself in these states. But prior to that, the big shoot back, because they said this is the fastest rebound from a decline of that magnitude in history of the stock market. So it usually takes about a year and a half to recover from the type of drop we had, and it recovered in about 60 days. It recovered in about 60 days, and between 30 and 60 days, it done recovered and surpassed. So that was because of optimism. People were thinking positive because they was talking about the possibility of a vaccine coming, and companies are starting this. That's a positive outlook for companies to be able to open, because people will become more comfortable with going places if there's a vaccine introduced. But I don't know who. I'm not going to be the first person in line for that vaccine. I don't know about you, but I'm not lining up for that vaccine. Like they speeding up the process of putting it out, so they might have forgot to check something, or they might loosen up the the testing restrictions just to get the vaccine out. So some shit might be wrong with that vaccine, that first batch. I'm cool. So y'all let me know how the vaccine work out for you. I'm not lining up for that vaccine. I'm gonna keep it funky. But that's an example of the optimism and pessimism. As soon as they started coming out with all the news about the possible vaccine, stock market shot up. Like companies getting, this is good news. This is good news for investors uh, who's invested in certain companies that has been shut down. So that's the optimism. Now the new, they done lifted restrictions for the states. People were able to come outside, go to beaches, do this, that, and the third. Malls opening. Um, that um, I think that contributed to, well, that's what they're saying in the news. That contributed to um, the new surge in cases. Okay, that contributed to the new surge in cases. So boom, here come the pessimism. So the stock market pulled back about 6%, but we still up. We still up past where we was when we dropped. Okay, moving along. So that's optimism, pessimism. Why the stock market's been up and down like that. But let me see here. Oh, Dr. Fauci, he talking about contact tracing. So one of the things that's been running around now, they talking about contact tracing, contact tracing. There's a setting in our phones that they were saying it was a glitch in the phones because they was putting this on our phone. I don't know that to be true. You can look that up on your own. But the contact tracing is a setting on our phone that we can turn on, because I seen it on my phone. You can turn it on, and that'll basically give you alerts if you come in contact with somebody that had COVID. And my thing is this, like, all right, they might use it for that, but I think they might use it for something else eventually. Like you turn that setting on, they're gonna be able to trace whatever they want to trace about you. That's what I think. But you do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you my insight. But I'm not turning that setting on. None of that. Feel me? So that's what Dr. Fauci screaming. States need to ramp up their efforts to put that in place. Like I'm thinking, some way, somehow, they're going to try to make it mandatory that you turn that setting on. That's what I'm thinking. Like in some states, he talking about ramp. Y'all need to do. He said, his words: if you have to build a hotel to put these people in, so be it. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, build a hotel to put people in it. So this is what I'm saying. If let's say you do turn that setting on, now they know you came in contact with it, so you might possibly have it. So if they want to get and militarize the situation, they fuck around, come knock on your door and be like, yeah, we need to quarantine everybody that's been in contact with COVID. Come on with us, please. And like Fauci said, you got to put people in a hotel. Like, yo, this shit is getting a little spooky outside. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. But that's what Dr. Fauci been talking this week. Uh, what else? Oh, Robin Hood controversy. Now they've been on Robin Hood's jock this week, and it's kind of like how they've been talking, been kind of funny style. Like it's kind of like they dissing new investors because a lot of people are getting hip to building wealth on the stock market, right? So with the stimulus coming on, that came out, it's more liquidity. Liquidity meaning there's more cash flow that been injected into the economy. Everybody got $1,200 unemployment. They add $600 more to the unemployment. So it's a lot more liquidity in the market. There's a lot more money flowing through the market. So a lot of those people, mostly younger people, have done started investing in the stock market, and the narrative is that these people are uneducated. Like they're and that's I mean, when you start investing, everybody's not as educated as someone else. So it's kind of like they dissing people for not being educated, like and being new investors. Like they becoming I don't really like the conversation that's going around Robinhood. Like it's an investment platform. You should be happy that people are participating in the markets because that's what fuels the economy. Like that's how companies raise money. If y'all don't know, that's what the purpose behind the stock market. Companies go public in order to raise money to make their businesses better. So they'd rather take that approach than go to a bank and try to get a loan. So what they'll do is offer part of their company on the stock market. And when you buy shares and ownership of that company, that raises money. Now you're part owner in the company. It raises money for the company so they can improve the company. So that's the whole purpose of the stock market. So they should be happy that people are um, boosting the economy and participating in the markets. But they kind of talking, it sounds like they be coming crazy, talking down on people for being new investors. But um, this one dude, actually, this was about 2 weeks ago. This one young investor, this one young investor, pardon me, this young investor was doing some, um, I would say, advanced. He was doing some advanced stuff on Robinhood as far as options. Now, options is another way to increase your wealth as well um, on the stock market. So, being that he was a new investor, he leveraged some. Let me see. He leveraged some options. He leveraged some options and went in went in debt about 700,000 or something like that, and he basically killed himself. He killed himself, left a note talking about he blamed Robin Hood for letting him do it and all of that. Um, which I found interesting because that just added fuel to the fire of the Robin Hood controversy. How they was talking down on people that got Robin Hoods and the new investors and whatnot. But I just found that to be interesting because that just added fuel to the fire. But ain't nothing wrong with Robin Hood if you ask me. Robin Hood is all right with me. But what else was they talking about? Um, let me see. We talked about optimism, pessimism. If y'all just tapped in, I'm live on YouTube as well. If y'all not subscribed there, go ahead and subscribe to Rappin on YouTube. We talked about, let me see, Dr. Fauci, building wealth. And Facebook. They saying that right now there's this boycott going on with Facebook. Um, Facebook, they're saying that there's a lot of hate speech, and right now it's a lot of pieces being moved on the board right now as far as business is concerned, because companies are trying to be first to show solidarity with the black community. They donating money. Um, they implement different guidelines to their websites and different things. It's like my thought process on that. I'm like, yo, y'all just now doing this stuff. Like y'all, I think it's a big show. I'm just waiting to see how it pans out, because it just seems like they're opportunists at this point in time. It's like they want to, I guess, cover their ass. They're trying to be on the right side of history, which is cool. But I think it's symbolism. They just want to, I guess, save their ass. They want to save their ass. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good with y'all? What's good? What's good? Um, but yeah, it's a lot of move shucking and jiving going on with a lot of these companies. I'm just trying to see how it pans out. Um, but yeah, so Facebook, there's a lot of boycotts going on with Facebook in regards to their hate speech guidelines and whatnot. So a lot of companies are they saying they're boycotting, but they already said how long their boycott was going to be. It's only going to be for 30 days. They only boycotting for the month of June. So yeah, they'll be back basically. So are you really boycotting? If you're only boycotting for a month, is it like what are you doing? Like I don't get it. But yeah, that's what's going on with Facebook. We'll see how that pans out. But I was just having this conversation the other day. Well, actually earlier. Um, he was like, yeah, he was talking to dude was talking in regards to uh, Mark Zuckerberg backing Donald Trump. He was like, if he backed Donald Trump next election, you still gonna rock with Facebook? And that's one of the things one of the analysts was saying on the news the other day. He was talking about uh, the reason why they only boycott for a month is because they need Facebook. People need Facebook on top of businesses needing Facebook because that's where all the eyes are. So it's like they can only boycott for so long. But my thing is, are you really boycotting or are you just trying to make a statement? I think they're just trying to make a statement, if you ask me. But that's what's going on with Facebook. And they're also saying that the boycott is not going to damage their stock price by one bit. It's like Facebook, in the midst of this boycott, their stocks is trading at an all time high. So it's like Facebook is so powerful. It's like boycotting don't even affect their stock price. You feel me? So um, that's what's going on with Facebook. And they also saying that Americans are drinking less during the pandemic. I don't know if I can agree with that. I don't know if I can agree with that. Facebook is, I mean, not Facebook. Uh, that Americans are drinking less. Americans are drinking less during the pandemic. I just got a question on Instagram, and the young lady says, "What's up? I am Sunny D. What about the buying black trend?" Um, Not sure what you mean by that. Um, Elaborate, because I'm about to give you my perspective in 1 second. Let me check my camera. But the buying black trend. Buying black trend. Um, Young lady just asked me, what do I think about the buying black trend? The buying black trend. Hmm. You think it's a trend? That's funny. You said it's a trend. Um, my thoughts on buying black, right, is this. It's a trend. She said it's a trend of supporting black entrepreneurs and patronizing black businesses. Yeah, but a trend. When you say trend, trends fade away. Trends are not long term. Um, That's why I was saying, like, that's why I found it funny. It's not a trend. All right, so yeah, I believe it's dope. I believe uh, that uh, what's what I'm trying to say. I believe that the buying black trend is dope. I believe that um, it's about time. Um, I believe. I just hope. Let me say that. I hope that it's not a trend. Because a lot of times some of the stuff that we do and be mad about is only short. It'd be short lived. Like we be mad and then we forget it happened, or we just move on to the next thing. Um, I think that I think that has something to do with us black people being uh, a forgiving people. Like we forgive more than anybody. Um, so I think that has something to do with it. But I just hope it's not short lived because if you don't know at this point, we spend about $1.3 trillion on discretionary items. Um, and I would dare to say that a lot of the percentage, a whole lot of the majority percentage of that 1.3 trillion is not spent with our own people. So if we was to just take half of that and spend with our own, support our own people, like we won't even need those reparations after a while. Like I don't even think it'll take that long because I mean we're due reparations. I believe we're due reparations. We're owed that, but I believe we can create our own reparations if we just half. I ain't gonna talk about the whole trillion, but just half of that, the $500 billion. If we was to spend that with our own people and build up our own shit, we won't even necessarily need reparations. So that's my thought on that. I think it's dope. I just think we can do. It's a start where we starting that, and it's fucked up that it had to take, uh, you know, killing after killing by the cops for us to get to this solidarity point. But it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. But that's how I feel about that. But if y'all just tapping in, this is the new financial bars series that I'm shaking out. Being that it's Sunday, I'm gonna call it Financial Bars Sunday. And if you just tapping in, I talked about uh, how the market moves with off of sentiment, pessimism, optimism, positive news, negative news. That's how the market fluctuates. When there's positive news and optimism going on in the market and in society, stock prices go up. When there's negative pessimism going on, stock prices go down. So as y'all know, it's a lot going on. So that means it's going to be a lot of both, up and down, up and down. That's why the stock market has been fluctuating like it's been. And the Robin Hood controversy. I think they kind of talking down on new investors because we done got hip to them, and we noticed the easiest way to build wealth. So we started to participate, but they kind of down talking new investors. Um, but one thing they do talk about a lot is uh, what's happening, bro? What's happening? One thing they do talk about is billions and trillions of dollars, like it's nothing, and it just excites me, man, because I'm like, damn, like they talking about, like I want to have conversations with my people about billions and trillions of dollars, like it's nothing. Like this is how they talk amongst themselves. Like I can only imagine what their cookouts and their dinner table conversations be like, but we don't have these type of conversations in our community. But we about to start, and I'm spearheading the movement. We about to make investing cool. We about to make building wealth cool. Like that's how we carrying it. You hear me? That's how we carrying it over here, rapping dope. We talked about Fauci, talking about ramping up the contact tracing. he talking about we need, if you got to build a hotel to put people in, so be it. Like he acting crazy. So I'm thinking some way somehow, um, they're going to make us turn on um, that contact tracing option on our phone. I think they're going to do that some way somehow. Um, but yeah, so optimism, pessimism, optimism. Oh, the vaccine's coming out. So businesses and investors are optimistic about the things getting back to normal. So stock prices shot up over the past 30, 60 days, past the low that we was at in March. Um, then slight pessimism. It drew back a little bit. Pessimism, the second wave that's coming out now, the second wave of coronavirus that they're seeing in these different states. They playing around with the idea of shutting back down. So that's pessimism. That's negative news, which brings stock prices down as a whole. Um, Brother Axe from Slap Mobile. If y'all know about Slap Mobile, check Slap Mobile out. He asked, have I thought about starting an investment club? Maybe one day. I'm thinking about it one day. It's in the playbook. It's in the playbook, but everything, I'm taking everything step at a time. I got a lot on the playbook. Can't do it all at once. You know what I'm saying? But yes. Um, who else we talked about? I think that's about it. But this is what we doing every week. We give y'all updates on what the market's been doing for the past week and what I expect to happen next week. Actually, that's the segment I'm about to go into now. After watching everything I done seen this week coming up, I expect them to. I expect more news on more states being um, contracting the COVID. I expect more news on that. Um, but we're still up from the lows in March. We're still up. So that's what we're doing. Financial bars. Like I said, since today's Sunday, it's financial bars Sunday. I don't know. I might keep it on Sundays. I might do it on Friday. But I'm feeling good about today. I'm feeling good about Sunday being financial bar Sunday. I feel this has a nice little ring to it. What time do you start the live so I can catch it next week? Well, this is the first one, bro. This is the first one. Um, I'm think I might keep it on Sundays, and this feels like a good time to do it. So I'm gonna shoot for I'm gonna shoot for 6 o'clock, but stay posted on Instagram for what time I decide to do it. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's rapping_dough. Also, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, because I'm actually live on there, um, it's rapping underscore. On YouTube, it's just straight rapping dough. So go ahead and feel free to subscribe to that. Turn your notification bell on, because that's how you will be notified. That's one way you can do it, bro. Turn your notification bell on after you subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notified, like a little text will pop up when I go live. So that's one way to do it as well. So with that being said, y'all, it's financial bars. Hope y'all found some value. Hit the like button, hit the share button, share this with a few people who need to hear this. And that's what it is. I'll see y'all next week. And run the bag up. Peace.